بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Merciful Allah, spare me long enough so that I may complete my mission. In remembrance of his undying love and loyalty for his and our master Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, strengthen your love and loyalty with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second in remembrance of his sister al-Masa'ib Zainab, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And the third in allegiance and honor of our current Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli. Yesterday, we spoke about the attacks on the family, and we mentioned that these attacks, especially in regards to our youth having the desire or want to get married, and also in their preparation for marriage. How are we preparing the youth for marriage? Now, even if there are all these attacks, and we think there are many, many more, which we will discuss today. The attacks on the selection of the spouse are great. And after the selection of the spouse, how we actually then begin our married life. Because it always begins with a celebration, with a wedding. And we mentioned that these weddings can sometimes have days, weeks, months, sometimes even years of preparation for a one-day event that will be packed up and forgotten by midnight. When we go to select a spouse, we often think that we will be asking about their deen, their akhlaq, what faith they have, and so on, their character. So why is it that the first questions we ask are, what do they do? What did they study? How much do they earn? Do they have a house? And so on and so forth. All these materialistic questions. And yes, we ask, do they have deen? Do they pray? Do they fast? Do they attend the mosque? But what does deen actually mean? And what does akhlaq mean? Do you see akhlaq when everything is going fine and smooth in life? It's very easy to show good akhlaq then. But what about when the slightest problem enters your life? What's the reaction then? Akhlaq is seen when times are tough, when problems are faced, when difficulties come forward. That's when we display true akhlaq. So oftentimes we're blinded by those questions or things that are on the external of the person rather than the internal. You see, we're not choosing someone for a wedding photo. We're choosing somebody that's going to be the future leader of our children, whether that's a father or a mother. And that's very important. Because that person's religion, their character, their habits, whether they can control their anger or not, in other words, their emotional awareness and regulation, the softness and discipline, and the emotional maturity, these are the climates with which your child will grow. So we need to think about that. So the question shouldn't be, is he impressive? Is his job impressive enough? Is his income impressive enough? Or is she attractive enough? Or so on and so forth. But the real question should be, would I trust this person with my child's heart? Let's think about that for a second. Would I trust this person with my child's heart? The second attack is this notion of a perfect spouse. You see, we're constantly bombarded through media, through movies, and when I say media, I mean social media. And through movies, through this and that, through the talk of people, and we gain this fantasy of a perfect spouse that doesn't really exist. Because all those things that we see are for show. They're there in order to attract us and retain our attention, so we watch more of it. And then what happens when it comes to the time of marriage? Suitors come forward and we see perfectly good people. Not perfect people, but perfectly good in the sense that they are decent individuals who can build a life, who are able to work together and make a living together and raise children together, yet we dismiss them because we think of this perfect person that doesn't even exist. Oftentimes, us as elders, we will put the conditions down on our daughters and sons of who they can and can't marry. Is this family, which family are they from? Oh, no, they're not impressive enough. Who? No, they're not religious enough. Yet the son or daughter may be a perfect match for you. When I say perfect match, I use it loosely. But they can be a good option for your son or daughter, yet we dismiss them. Why? Because of our ego. No, they're below us. We have to pick someone higher than us. And this is the problem that our society is facing. Let's be honest. Yesterday I kept using the phrase honest conversation. We have to have an honest conversation with the youth. We have to have an honest conversation with each other. Because if we don't have these honest conversations, where are we headed? So in actual fact, these normal people start to look insufficient. Now someone may hear this and say, hold on a second, so you're telling me that I have to lower my standards in order to get married? No, we're not saying lower your standards. We are saying the opposite. Raise your standards to that which actually matters. Not all these other side things. Allow me to speak very frankly and freely with you, if that's okay. Because I've prepared this speech and I'm happy to share it with anyone. But to be honest with you, we get this opportunity once a year to sit on this minbar of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and to really speak from our heart as to what are the issues in our community. Otherwise, why else are we gathering? The message of Imam Hussein was to cut the shortcomings of the society that they were living in. Have we ever stopped to think and honestly think, where are we as a community and where are we headed? That's a very deep and heavy question. Very heavy. Sometimes we may think it, but then we quickly get busy with something else, because to actually sit with that thought, it will burn our hearts. Where are we headed? You see, society is moving at a very fast pace. A very fast pace. And now all of us have these devices in our hands that we are linked constantly to the internet that's bombarding us with all kinds of things. And so the rate of change is forever increasing or becoming exponential. Things that were not normal 50 years ago are becoming normal. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Relationships and so on that are not normal are now being taught in schools to our youngsters. That tide or that movement is moving out at a fast pace, a very fast pace. And where does that leave us? Because we are also being dragged. Our youth are being dragged with all these constant attacks here and there. Attacks on marriage, attacks on this, attacks on that, attacks on character, attacks through social media. We're being dragged along. And something hit me yesterday. Year on year, I hear that things are getting worse and worse. Which means that we are also moving out with the tide. Yet these majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, with as much barakat as they have, with as much blessings as they bring, even these majalis have not been able to keep us stagnant. Listen very carefully to the choice of word. I'm not saying made us better. See, the tide is moving this way, and we're meant to be moving this way. Yet we are not even stagnant. We are moving with the tide. Maybe not at the same pace or rate, but we are still moving in the wrong direction. And we feel it. We see it. Let's have an honest conversation. So what's going on here? That even these majalis are not able to keep us stagnant. And that's not an insult to these majalis. Alhamdulillah that we have these majalis. Because if we didn't, where would we be? If we didn't, what state would our youth be in? You see these on my face and here? These are grey hairs. Grey hairs. And more will appear. I blinked my eyes and I became this old. And I'll blink again and I'll be 2 feet in the grave, not just 1 foot in the grave. Yet what have I done for the community? What have I done for my own family? Sometimes that's the problem. We'll think about the community more than we think about our own family. Yet if we as men focus on our family, our wives, if we become leaders of our wife and our children, then the community will sort itself out. We won't need to do anything for the community. We're all elders here of the community. Each and every one of us sitting here has a wealth of knowledge that can contribute to the issues that we are facing today. Yet what's being done about it? Do we meet to speak about the issues that the youth are facing? And it's not just the youth. We often say the youth, the youth, the youth. Do you know how many times I've been invited to speak for the youth? Come speak for the youth. Come speak for the youth. And I think to myself, the youth are not the problem. The problem is us elders. We are the problem. I am the problem. Because if I was a proper example and role model for my child, I would not need a person to come and speak for my child. My child will follow my good example. Is that not so? Are we not having an honest conversation? When Imam says, لِإِصْلَاحِ أُمَّتِي, it begins with us, elders, so that we pave the way and we become a role model for those youngsters. And they will follow. They will. One of the things I often think about is, what will my wife and child think of me, honestly? Not when at the funeral and everyone's crying and they say, oh, Khuda rahmatish kone, chaqat marde khubi bood. not during those days, I mean honestly inside her heart. And what will my son say about me as a father? Will he say, yes, my father gave me lots of presents? Or will he say, my father was not present? See, we can be present but absent at the same time. And this hits hard. For any man to sit there and think, what will my wife actually say about me or think about me? Not because we care what people think. No, we do too much of that. In fact, the reason why we have gone so wrong as a community is that we care too much what others think of what we are doing. So we place these external pressures on ourselves for no reason to please others, when those people are not the ones in our house, they're not the ones paying our bills, they're not the ones dealing with our problems. But we place too much importance on what they will think, so then our son or daughter has to marry a certain person. The wedding has to be a certain way. We have to have this many guests, and we have to have this hall, and we have to do this and that and the other, and spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds, on a one-day event that will be forgotten by midnight. Do we not think that that money would be better spent given to the actual bride and groom and said, you know what? Use half of it for a deposit, put the other half in an investment fund. Or keep it as a pension, or do whatever you, keep it as an emergency fund for something. Do we not think about these things? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ya Allah, Assalamu alaikum. So do we not think about this, that same money that could have been spent on something more important, like giving the couple, the young, newly married couple, peace from financial stress and even financial debt. Some people go into debt for these weddings. For what? Oh, but if we invite this person, we have to invite that person. If we don't invite them, it'll be bad. And then we have to invite that person as well. And then slowly, the wedding spirals out of control, because now you have to invite many people. The number of tables becomes more. The amount of food becomes more. The decorations, the this, the that. For what? So we're starting the married life of these two young people in a stress and financial debt that they will take years to recover from. Do we not think about how that makes them feel? They're already having to learn each other. They're two new people learning each other, trying to get to know one another. And then on top of this, they have financial stress and debt. As elders of the community, we have to have these honest conversations with each other and with our children. I'm sorry, but as I said, let's have an honest conversation. I'm going to say it very honestly and bluntly. People here know me. You've all seen me grow up. I would say probably one of the best things that I have in my character is that I don't care what other people think. Not because I don't respect you all. No, I respect everyone. But at the same time, just because someone likes me or doesn't like me doesn't change my loyalty to the truth or my understanding of my duty. We all have to be a bit the same. Let's not care about what people think or say about us. Let's do what's right. Let's guide our youth. Or when? When are we going to do it? Or should we just sit back and pretend that nothing's happening and the community's going in the right direction? Because it's not. It's not. And we all know this. We hear it. If we sit down and we talk to each other, we hear it. I hear it many times from parents. Our youth, our youth, our youth. Let me tell you very plainly, the problem is not the youth. The problem is us. It's the elders. It's me. I am the problem in this community, not the youth. Because if I was a proper human being that did my duty and carried out my responsibilities like I should, then the youth would also follow. They are after these examples. When I said, do we think about the community? Do we actually think about the community? What state we're in, where we're headed? Because let's face it, more mosques sounds like a good idea. Every so often we have a massive fundraise for a new mosque, yet our mosques and masajids are empty. They're only full in times like this, twice a year, Muharram and Ramadan. Maybe the odd weladat, maybe the odd shahadat. But what are we doing? Honestly, what are we doing as a community? More mosques doesn't solve our problem. It doesn't help that old lady who is struggling to pay her electricity bill or gas bill and is freezing in this country, or who can't buy proper food. It doesn't help her. Please listen to my words, because we have cases in our community of such. Who is looking out for these elderly women who have lost their husbands? Who? Shouldn't it be me? Shouldn't it? Or should I just say, oh, well, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. What are we doing? We sit here on this member and we speak for the masses to tell them what? Yazid Sakbaz. Yazid Maymun Baz. We've heard this, we've heard it year after year after year. What has it helped us? If I call myself, and I don't call myself a leader of the community, not at all. I don't. But I work with youth. If I call myself a member of the community, shouldn't I care for others around me? Shouldn't I take a little bit of thought as to how other people are living? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But you can't tell me that Imam Hussein alayhi salam stood there and gave up everything he had. When I say everything, I mean everything. Even his 6-month-old son. For what? For these days that now we're living? For this faith that we all have? Not we all. I have. What faith? I come here once a year and I cry and I beat my chest and I eat the food as barakat, and then I'm back to my life, not caring about anything but money, status, which car am I driving now, should I get a bigger house or not? For what? My son, as I said, my son tomorrow will not tell me, thank you, Daddy, for all the presents you gave me. He will tell me, let us think about that. Imam Hussein's message is far greater than for me to put it under my feet and trample on it, which is what I do daily. We are all leaders in this community, every single one of us. There's no such thing as a leader. We are all leaders. And until we all believe that and take responsibility, our community will continue to become worse and worse and worse. And we won't have faith. We will have fake faith. But when it comes to the time when we're old and grey, like me now, we will start to realize, what have I done with my life? We have to start taking responsibility. We have to work together. And we have to be sincere. If someone comes to us and tells us, I have this issue or that issue, don't go telling other people. Because that happens. I'm not making this up. Our community, we say don't do ghaybat, don't do... We do it. We do it. And the problem isn't from there. It's not the ladies. As much respect and honor as we should give the women, they are not the leaders of the community. Us men are meant to be the leaders of the community. We are the leaders of our household. We are the heads of our wives and children. So here is the problem. Here. This. I'll end it there because I have so much more to say, and I had prepared a totally different topic, but I saw, what am I doing coming and saying this? I'm talking about weddings and this when we have more serious issues to talk about, when we have bigger problems to deal with. So let us be men and stand up. Let us apologize to our wives. Let them see us leading the example, and then they will follow. They will follow. Our children will follow. That's what we need. That was the stance of Imam Hussein. Nothing else. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين.